Welcome to the Bard and Cauldron Adventures, young and old, where daring adventures and terrible jokes are told. Welcome back, everyone, to our next session of Heroes of Theros. Guys, we have come to this point. It is time for the Iroan Games. I am excited. I've prepped for this session. There's going to be a lot of homebrew. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. Bear with us. I'm glad you guys are in for the ride. Let me put on some music for our recap, and we'll fire this baby off. Last time on the Heroes of Theros, our heroes had made their way out of the underworld, successfully returning the staff, spear, back to Clothos safely, freeing her of her job of keeping the Titans beneath Theros in the underworld, and the party perhaps gaining another ally in the fight to keep Xenagos from returning once more. Last final words and last wisdom was passed from Theros to the party, pushing them back into their original bodies, back into Akros, where the planning began for what was to come for the Iroan Games. Preparations were made to protect Queen Taranika via a entrance, and I'm going to hit that on replay if it'll let me, or do I gotta post it again and do that? Damn, I was on a roll too. Via a secret entrance that our party is going to keep safe and sound, with Fezzik competing both Cantor and Thea guarding Queen Taranika, and Arthos hiding amongst the crowd. And this is where I will bring us on to the map. So, players, put yourself, we're going to go ahead and begin putting ourselves where you guys are going to be at. I don't think this is quite the scale, just bear with me, but it'll definitely work. So, let's see, I know... Fezzik, you're going to be competing. It's going to be this little section over here. And for some reason you're on the map layer, so you became huge automatically. Okay, he's going to start out like a giant. You're going to be here. You actually have a seat right next to her. That's where you're going to be at. Chantor is right there in that little spot right there.
Yeah, I figured I'd probably be about right there.
Alright. Alright, I thought you already put yourself on there. Okay, let's see here. Let's turn that down just a little bit. I just want that lightly playing in the background. Okay. As the ceremony begins, Daphne, the satyr that our friends became acquainted with their first trip together to Melitus. You see, she goes ahead and whips out this red leather book, and she kind of like looks around the crowd. Apologies, I went ahead and wrote some notes for myself so I wouldn't forget and screw this up. Just bear with us, and don't worry, and we'll get this done. So, as far as new special announcements are concerned, next year a new event will happen. We have the long distance running event. The last champion of said event was nicknamed Swiftfoot. There was much I could really find on him. There wasn't really as much I could find on the archives, but that event's going to be coming back next year, along with after the Iroan Games are finished. Iroan has wants to announce that the Pentathlon is going to be coming back as well, and training begins for that week after. Take a week off next week when you guys come back for training. You guys are going to be training for that. That's going to be a 5-event sort of event, compiled of 5 different things in one event. I was told there was something about tossing javelins. I don't know. Anyway, swimming. We're doing swimming today, right? And people begin to cheer for her, and you watch as she says that you watch as these priests seem to kind of step out onto the field. They are wearing dark blue robes with green trimming, and you watch as they're just looks like they're carrying buckets, and they're kind of like putting buckets all around the edge of the Colosseum. You watch as one puts a bucket in front of you, and it kind of begins to stand right next to it. And you can now watch as they all begin to twist their hands together and begin watching the water come out of the pots in large amounts, almost endless, as they almost cover the entire arena, right up to the pots, with water, making a pool inside the arena. Fezzik, currently, right now, sitting with you, you see there are, with the first event, there are 5 total. So you have yourself, Aegeus, that you have met yesterday, the giant born, possibly from Abrictus, sharing some sort of cousinry, ancestry with you, as well as you see a Triton male. You can see he's already just proud and smiling. He knows he's going to win this because he's a Triton. It's going to be easy for him. You also see this older satyr male kind of just begin stretching his back and like kick his hooves a little bit. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Yeah.
10? You know there's something off about the satyr, but you can't really tell what. Just with your athletic training, like something's off. So just the way he's walking is really funny, but you really can't tell why. And then there is another human female, short brown curly hair. That is currently who is going to be going for the swimming competition. So this is how this is going to work. So these is going to be 3 rounds of a athletics check. Now, because the one contestant is a Triton, he's just going to have advantage on this check. But you have proficiency with athletics, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll 4 d20. This is gonna be their athletics checks. Go ahead and roll your athletics check. I've got their separate modifiers here. Then the one gets advantage.
Just roll 1?
Yeah, just roll 1. Okay. Okay, you still got the highest. So, you tell me how you do this as you all line up, begin sizing each other up. You watch the Triton kind of look over to you. Aren't you a little heavy to be competing in this?
Well, it almost seems like you're cheating being a Triton.
No, it's not cheating if I'm using my natural born ability. I see at the finish line. Okay? How do you do this as you all line up and you hear the sound of just a large go?
I crash into the water. It's not as much graceful as it is powerful.
Okay? You just barrel through. And then just that natural battle instinct pushing through. You begin pushing through with all your might. And you watch as you're actually pushing ahead of the Triton already. As you see, he kind of just, and he actually just went ahead and just kind of just dove straight in, almost like a fish, expecting to be able to just drift right through easily. Alright. You watch as the satyr seems to be kind of getting there, but he's not making really a lot of progress. The woman female just seems to be coasting at the moment. She's kind of just taking her time at the moment. She's gonna wait her time. Alright, so we're gonna do 2 more checks. That's gonna be 1 lap. We're gonna do 3 of these. So, give me 2 more athletics checks. I'm gonna do these quick. Wow, okay, that's just not even fair. Okay, beautiful. As you push through, just coasting with that already momentum that you already got going with your strong arms, and you come to the edge of the water, and you notice that the water almost seems to be staying in place. Instincts kind of kick in. You kind of just begin to almost turn in the water. Instinctively, you go to push your feet, and you actually are able to kick off the side of where the water ends to keep going. Just using the water to push you the rest of the way. You are now already halfway. You watch as the Triton meets you halfway. He does not look happy seeing you just barrel through like that. Alright, you have now got a lead at the current moment. It would take them at the moment. It would take them at least 2 checks just to catch up to you, depending on how you do. So that is 1 lap. We're gonna do 2 more. Go ahead and do this lap. So give me 3 athletics checks. Okay, let's see. Okay. Awesome, okay. You are still pushing through the lead. That natural 20, you're just pushing through. Your giant blood is just pumping through your veins, just making your arms glide through water. As you are passing through, the Satyr is still behind you, but he's the one that's closest to you right now. The Triton is now in 3rd place, with just not able to use his natural born ability to get him passed through. On the Satyr, you notice now, as you're in the water, he has shaved down his feet and his hooves in defense. And he does not try to hide it. Go ahead and make me another set of 3 more athletics checks. You are currently in the lead with no one. The only one close to you is the Satyr at the moment, but you've got a considerable lead. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll these real quick. One of them gets edge. Fezzik, tell me how you do this as you reach that final lap.
The final lap, I give it that last push.
Okay, your arms at this point are starting to wear out, but you can see that you're just almost another push away, and you just, last bit of your strength, push through, and you hear the sound of a trumpet blare, and the water begins to almost kind of lower, almost by itself, slowly, and it kind of just fades and drifts into the sand beneath. Some of it goes back into the pots, and you just hear people screaming and shouting, and you watch as Daphne kind of runs over to you, grabs your arm, and tosses it up with both of her hands. She has to use both hands. And our winner of the swimming event is Fezzik the Mighty! And people are screaming and shouting, and you see the Triton kind of just sit there at the sand with his head is straight in the sand, As that is happening, I'm gonna need, perception checks from my 3 in the crowd.
Good.
11.
11, okay.
17.
17. Okay, beautiful.
24.
24, beautiful. Okay.
He spots a hawk 30 miles away in the sky.
Yeah.
Also, before you reveal anything, can I pop off detect thoughts?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm only scanning surface level thoughts for the next 10
just
minutes
Basic surface level thoughts, okay?
as I weave through the crowd.
Okay, you're kind of just going through, kind of just like, not entirely sure where you want to sit. You kind of want to sit here 1 minute because there are like a couple spots where probably people couldn't make it. You're like, oh, this is a nice spot. No, I want a higher view. No, I kind of want a lower view. But you do it just, good enough to where no one is able to really get your attention. For the most part, the thoughts that you get are very basic, like excited for the event thoughts. How cute how cute the announcer is. Nothing too alarming.
Alright.
Kantor, you are kind of just leaning on the other side, kind of just hanging out, waiting. You hear a voice, kind of down the hall. I know that you are a little impaired, so I figured I would stand some feet away from you so you don't punch me in the face.
What was that again?
A voice down the hall from you is giving you a heads up that they are approaching you.
Oh, okay. Do I recognize the voice?
It is Diomocles.
Ah. I'll kind of look his direction and say, you're fine. You're fine.
Alright, so far everything is set and good. I've got at least 6 other gentlemen down this path up to the exit. I've already got some of your Leonin friends, archers, watching the mountains for the path back to that church, like you asked.
Excellent. Excellent. How is the random guard? They've been checking in, like we mentioned.
Ask that part one more time. I don't think I heard that part.
About the guards we were going to have walking between the Colosseum and the castle.
Oh, yes, that's going to be done as well. At least within 2 to 3 minutes of each other.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Kantor, for
Everything's been going well here.
All right, good.
I heard that our friend Fezzik won the first match.
I had no doubt. This is going to be, as long as everything goes good here today, there will be hope that for all the polices.
Let's hope that the only eventful part of the day are the events of the games.
Agreed. All right. There's much more for me to do. Be safe, my friend. goes ahead and kind of like pat your chest, and kind of heads back down. Thea, you are sitting there next to Queen Taranika, and you notice that it took you a little while, but you only noticed because you suddenly finally feel something kind of like bite you on the wrist.
Ow!
You look down, and it is this almost looks like kind of like mixed between aquamarine and seaweed green furred cat. God, it took you long enough to look down.
Oh, hello? Have we met?
No. I don't think Selene introduced me. I'm an envoy of the goddess Nylia. Wanted to let you know that everything is good in the Nessian wood.
Oh, well, that's wonderful news.
Yeah. Figured I'd at least come see the games for a second. You know, come in for a snack. Anything that kind of drops on the ground. Go back, leave a message. Come back, do the same thing. Back and forth all day.
You get tired doing that?
No, not really. It's kind of just my thing.
Oh.
Yeah, they call me Crumbs.
Crumbs? Well, that's a good name.
Yeah. Well, anyway, sorry about the dress. And you see he kind of pops off, and you see he kind of lift you a little disbursement on your dress.
Oh well, it's washable, thankfully. It's been through worse.
The
You crumbs.
rest of the day goes by pretty much, well, at least this part of the day comes to a close. The Fezzik, as you are gathering back up with your other friends, you see Aegeus kind of comes over. Hey, you did good. You showed Triton that it is not all about natural ability. Hard work is just as good.
Absolutely.
Very well done. Well, I will be back at which is it? The clumsy centaur, hungry harpy. You people have strange names for your places.
Well, all the names have a story to them.
Right, I'm sure those are interesting stories. Well, whichever one is the one where Satyr Lady sings, that is where I'll be.
Alright.
Alright, and as you all begin to gather back up, today's events come to a close. As far as the Iroan Games are concerned. So, there is a small announcement as the day comes to a close. Daphne says, for those that are competing in the final Capture the Flag event, Amethrion has finished his design for the map for the final event. He will be passing those out this evening for those that have signed up. he will find you. No worries. He says he has his ways of doing that. You guys all gather back up, completing your duties for the day. Don't everybody speak at once.
I'm probably just gonna kind of walk briefly through the streets, paying attention to see if I can hear any mumblies and rumblings in the crowd. Probably briefly stop off at both the armor,
Okay.
just to see how things are going, if he needs any extra reagents or anything from us. And then probably also stop off at the temple of, or whatever, little shrine of Heliod there.
Okay.
Just to check in before going back to the palace and probably resting for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Once we all got together, I would share what Crumbs said, that all is good.
Crumbs.
Yep. I will share that with the group.
A talking cat, what the hell? What are we, Scooby-Doo?
Yes, and it was actually like a bluish-green in color. I've never seen a cat like that. It's very pretty.
You a talking cat?
You knew a talking cat?
No.
Be it a very large one. No, you are one.
Yes.
Oh. Arthur's like face palms a bit.
Very handsome one you are too. And I just reach out and threaten to scratch you behind the ears.
Okay,
I don't actually, I just threaten.
Threaten. You menacingly look at it.
Alright. Fezzik, anything for you?
Mostly just relaxing and resting after that.
Okay. Anything for you, Arthos?
Yeah, I'd just be... I'd probably head over to the bar and grab a drink.
Okay. Fezzik. You see, this, red cloaked, messenger kind of comes over to you. Fezzik the Mighty? Is that your name?
Yes?
Right. Amphion said that I should give this to you. And kind of, hands it over to you.
Alright, I take it.
Okay. And you would know this as this is every year that this event happens. Amphion actually comes up with the design for how the final event's gonna look, as far as how the arena's gonna look. And this is what he wants this year. And he says, at the bottom, there's a note. He says, I will make this happen. You can see, for first thing that's off, is he has spots out there painted for where water should be. And it looks like they're inside a hole, and there's not holes in the arena. So you're not exactly sure how he's gonna do that, but he says he's gonna get it done. But this is the map of the Capture the Flag event. That way you and your hoplites can discuss what strategies and everything that you guys might want to come up with for... you guys will be starting on this side. I'll put you... So if you want to go ahead and put your token on this side. put a Jesus token on this side.
I'm so small.
That way you know that, hey, this is your guys' side, so just picture right here. I'm going to make a token for the flag. And that's basically what you're going to be guarding as well as trying to take theirs. So, but yeah, this is basically your very first look at it. So you now have access to that.
Alright.
Anything else for this day? I'll take that as a no. You all get the benefits of a long rest, and as the morning comes, and you all adjourn back from the palace, everything seems to be good. As the day begins, anything that you guys want to do to start, you guys have about an hour or two before the events today.
Oh, I think just offer a general prayer to Athreos.
If you want to go ahead and make me a religion check.
Ooh, 21.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, I was going to be doing my morning prayer, and I rolled a religion check as well.
Okay, what did you get?
25.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Doing good for once.
It's scary.
Physic Arthos.
I know, that's not right.
I guess I will also offer a prayer for Fezzik's success in the games.
Okay, go ahead and make me a religion check.
Now you guys have jinxed it for me. Or not. 21.
I'll keep that in mind.
Wow. I'll do a prayer too.
Okay, go
I'll
ahead
just
and
pray.
make a religion check for me.
$13.
13. We'll say it's because he is depowered that you don't know if you couldn't really establish a clean connection. Okay? Give me a second here. Let me finish my tea here. Okay, on the second day, it is the archery competition. So, out on the field, you could see that there are currently 4 targets that are currently set up. They currently have, looks like 5 rings that are just colors with numbers written on them. So, to break this down, this is what's going to happen. You are going to roll a attack roll with a bow. Whether longbow, short bow, if you have proficiency with that. A 10 to 12 is going to be 5 points. A 13 to 15 is going to be 10 points. 16 to 18 is going to be 25 points. 19 to a dirty 20 is going to be 50 points. A natural 20 is going to be 100 points. We're going to do this 5 times. So, you're going to have 5 arrows. Basically, it's 5 shots, 5 rounds. Any questions for you, Fezzik?
Nope, I just put a bow into my attack things to have it.
Okay, cool, awesome. Alright. So, currently standing there with you, you watch as Aegeus goes ahead and puts on his bow. You can see that his looks like it's made out of bone. And it's been carved down very nicely. And it looks like it has some sort of like long hair of some kind, or like the bowstring, with like a feather at the tip. You can see that there is also a human male, probably in his early 30s, kind of just standing there. Looks like this is probably his first time. You can tell he's probably definitely nervous, but he's definitely going to give it a shot. Then you can also see that there is also a female satyr that's going to be shooting today as well. So, we're going to go ahead and Fezzik, go ahead and start us off. Go ahead and do 5 shots. And we'll score up your points for the first round. Okay, so let's see. For Fezzik. Whoa, where's my pen go? Where did the pen go? Oh, I just had that. I was just writing in it. I bet the cat. The cat knocked it on the floor. Evil little gremlin. My familiar is not.
I was just about to suggest the cat stole it.
No, I shouldn't steal it. She probably just knocked it on the ground to make me have to bend down and get it. Make me do something for once. Alright, so for Fezzik, that is 11. Okay, 11, that's 5. 13. Hold on, wait. Also that really can check too, so hold on. 11 is 5 points. 12 is 5 points. Okay. 23. That's not natural 20, so that's 50. That's 50. That's 100 points. Wow. Alright, so we got 100. 200. You have 210 points right now. So that's round 1 for you. Okay, Aegeus is going to take his shot. Okay, wow. First arrow.
You're supposed to be rolling d10s or d20.
I'm an actual idiot. Thank you for telling me that. I was like, that's better.
Wow. Yeah. It's a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dang.
Aegeus is going to go ahead and get, that's 200. 5. You see, as you watch as on that, he sinks 2 bullseyes. That last arrow he goes to shoot, you watch as the bowstring breaks. You hear him in giant cuss. Shit! But he currently is now sitting at 205. You have a 5-point lead right now. Okay. We have our human male. It's gonna go ahead and take a shout. His shouts. Okay. We've got 100. Is 110. 115. As the natural one just watch, same thing happens. Bowstring breaks. Not a good day for bowstrings, apparently. And finally, we're gonna go have the satyr take their shots. Okay, let's see that. Yeah, there's. Alright, so we've got that's 100, 200. 210 points. You and her are tied. Okay, that is round 1. We're going to do this 4 more times. Alright, so go ahead, Physic, and take your shots. Let me know when it's rolled those, because it has not shown up for me yet.
Yeah, I rolled them all.
Oh, you did? Okay. Then I just need to refresh my roll 20. Hold on. Okay, no, it did it. Really? Another natural 20? Shit, dude. Okay. Alright, so we got...
It's actually a 19. Both of those were...
Oh, yeah, because you crit on a...
Yeah.
That's 200. 210. 125. 200. 225. So 225. Then what they do is at the end, they add the totals up. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this 5 times real quick. 4 times. Okay, let's see. Aegeus gets... Let's see. 5. Alright, so that's 12, 19, it's going to be 50. Okay. 5. That's a miss. I've got 55. I got 70 for that. Wow. Not a good round. Okay. Not a good round for anybody, honestly, except Fezzik. Oh no, the skater got 100. 125. 130. 140 for them, and for you, I am 40 points. Wow, not very good. Okay. But they're still there. Okay, go ahead and do 5 more shots. Okay, so that is gonna be. This is. But that natural 20 is 100. D. 160 for. 160 for physic. For that round. Okay. 5D zeros. There we go. You don't get any dice this time. Alright. Wow. Okay, there's a natural 20. Okay. For Gius, it's 50. 75. 85. 90 points for Gius. For the human. Oh wow! They actually, you watch as they go ahead and get their first bullseye. Crowd cheers like, "Woo! They actually hit something for once. Good job." 150, 60, 70. Okay, and for Slater, it's 50. 60, 65, 70, 80. Okay. Alright, fourth round. Go ahead and do me 5 more shots.
No bullseye that time.
I gotta refresh roll 20. Okay. You still got you still got the 19. So that is, I've got 50. 225. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Alright. There are these. Wow. That was a Gius. Okay, there we go. Gius is going to get 250, 255, 265. You watch as he sinks one arrow, this sinks one right in the middle to his own arrow. Then that's another 100. 115 for our human. 18, that's going to be 50. That's going to be 50. That's going to be yeah, that's going to be 75. then 175, 50, 325? Is that right? No, that's 250. Yeah, I think my math is a little. Somebody needs to go back to school. Alright, Fezzik. Last round. Okay. I've got 50. 100. 5. 110. 120. Yeah, 120. Okay. And a last round for everybody else. Okay. For GS, got 50, 55, 70, 70, 80, 100 points for him. 10, 110, 125 for the human, and the second, for the satyr, natural 1. That's going to be 25. That's going to be 35. 40, 45. Okay. Fezzik. I have your totals at 210, 225, 160, 225, and 120. I'm going to add these up. You watch as some judges kind of get over, begin counting up the points. If somebody can remember where his calculator is on his freaking phone. 210, 5, 160, 225, 120 is your 940 is your top, is your final total. Do you want to double check that? Or have you been keeping score as well?
I've been letting you do the score.
Huh?
I've been letting you keep track of my score.
Okay. Aegeus' final score was 465. Okay. The human male, who did his first time, got 440 points. 140. The satyr got 725. So, as it stands, as you got first place, Fezzik, you are the victor. As the announcements are made, they take the scores lowest to highest. As Fezzik, after they announce, it's down to you and the satyr for first place. And you watch the satyr kind of sitting there, like, crossing her fingers, like stomping her head, like, yeah, I got this. And they say, Fezzik, the mighty! And, the crowd cheers once more. I guess there's always next year. Hey, really good shot. I took you as a more in-your-face kind of person. Well, anyway, good luck with the rest of the games. See ya. And, the day continues on. While that's happening, Kator, make me a perception check.
Alright, give me a second here.
Yep.
17.
17, okay. Nothing seems to happen on this day. Quiet, uninterrupted.
Nothing good.
Nothing amiss. Thea, go ahead and roll me a perception check if you would.
Ooh, see what I see. Ooh, 19.
19, okay. From where you're at, you're kind of just hanging out with Queen Tyrannica, gossiping. You see Leopold's kind of right next to her. As you're having a conversation, you kind of look over. For a moment, the face that you saw in the crowd kind of sitting, kind of, I would say probably like right next to this statue. You swear that you saw what was his name? I've got his. Where's the token? I thought I gave him a token. Where'd he go? It was right there.
I saw a person with a face.
Well, maybe I deleted it? Let me go back to my notes here. Because this is actually really important that you see this. Let's see, where's my session notes here? That she is there. Pollux. The satyr, who you all met back in Akros, who was in the same dancing troupe that was also part of the cult of Xenagos and died.
Could you say the name again real quick? My audio cut out for a second there.
Pollux.
Oh, Shinkies? Okay.
Last time you saw it, you're sitting there talking to Queen Tyrannica about something, and you swear you saw him right here. I don't know what happened. I think I just chose a generic token, and then I just never gave him an actual token.
Yeah, I think you just used like a generic satyr token or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. Didn't he like disappear? I mean, of course, Thea probably wouldn't know this, but
I don't know if you
I'm
guys
not there.
remember this or not, but
Didn't he die?
I got it.
I mean, I'm not there
He had the shard in his neck, and he was hanged by the cult when we left him alone in the temple of
The
somebody.
shard was removed. Or
Yeah.
the shard was stolen.
That too.
you guys left him at the, yeah. And you guys, took him back to the temple of Athreos to at least give him his final rites. But you swear that is, I mean, putting that on the map as that is the last time you saw him.
Alrighty then.
And you see, I would say you notice this right as they announce Fezzik as the victor. You go to cheer and you look over and you swear you see him by the statue. You are kind of just distracted for a moment. You go to look back at Fezzik. You look back. He's gone.
Noted. Okay,
Almost,
cool.
almost instantly.
Is there some other satyr, like, in that general vicinity?
There is no one sitting in that seat.
About in the seats, like, 3 up, 3 down, 3 over.
You look around. There are some, but they do not look like Pollux.
And none of them are satyrs at all.
There's like 2 satyrs.
Okay. Okay, cool.
But you can see, like, they have mouthful of popcorn, like, they're just munching away. They're not vicious or anything like that at the moment.
Did I get enough of a look at this glance at Pollux to see which direction he was looking? Was he looking at the competition or was he looking somewhere else? Or did I not notice?
Not with the 19. With the 19, you were able
That's
to
fair.
see him.
Okay, that's cool. Oh.
Arthos, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception. That's a 25.
25. Okay. Is there anything special that you're doing as you're going through the crowd on this day?
I will subtle cast detect thoughts as well and scan surface thoughts like I did the previous day.
Okay, beautiful. Just this much of the same as the day before. As the judges announced their decision, you do hear one phrase from amidst the chaos. Time for the real games to begin.
Whoa, that's not good. I will establish. I guess I'll establish a telepathic link with Thea.
Is this happening the same time that I just saw Pollux?
The exact same time from different perspectives.
Then this would probably coincide with me sending a sending spell to you, Arthos.
We're both like trying to contact each other.
We both get a busy signal. Crap.
Oh, the telepathic highway's jammed.
I don't know how do you
roll for it?
Okay, I'll tell you
You
what.
want to roll for it to see who gets their spell off first?
Just for funsies, I want you both to make Arcana checks for me to see which one goes through. Please.
I'm proficient with Arcana, and that's a natural 20 plus
I was gonna say,
7,
I got a
27.
9.
Okay, Arthur, if you get this business signal, you're like, no, I'm getting through, and you blast through. You don't waste your spell slot. That was just mainly for.
Okay. I'm just stunned for a second while I'm thinking about this.
Yeah.
Also, question: do I know where that thought came from?
I would say I would say you kind of know the general direction, but when you go to look over, there's no one there. It was like that thought was the last thing that you got before that, whatever that presence was, immediately vanished.
Right. Okay. I will send Thea a warning about that. I got some weird. Someone might be planning a move.
I agree. I was going to contact you. I thought I saw Pollux not far from where you are.
Pollux.
One statue over. Yes. I saw him for a second, and then when I looked back again, he was gone.
Yeah, because I got a telepathic reading that someone said this is where the real games begin.
Oh dear. Can I do a perception check and see if anyone's looking at the box? Like at me and the queen?
Yeah. If you want to do a separate one for that, that's fine, yeah. Go ahead.
That's good, that's good. Math. 21.
21? You kind of do see, like, and kind of over here, like, maybe, like, two gossiping, like, women, like, talk about why they're letting a little girl run a city, but that's about the most threatening thing you hear.
Okay.
Or see.
I would also say, like, make sure Cantor knows about this, since he's also helping you to guard the queen.
Absolutely. As soon as we're done exchanging information, that's my next move.
Right.
To which point, I'm not going to leave the queen alone. I'm staying right where I am, but I'm going to call for Cantor, since I assume, Cantor, you are not far away.
Oh yeah, I'm just like right on the other side of like from where you guys are. So it's like from where you're at, I'm like 10 feet, 15 feet maybe away from you.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how big this box seat is.
Think of, so, where you are, you're behind like a red curtain, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not that far away. If you say like, "Hey, Cantor, come here real quick," I'll hear you. I don't think I even have to
probably
do
exactly what I
perception
would
check.
say too.
I'll put
You
on this map.
basically fill in on everything.
As well as Leopold, because they are right there.
Yes, once Cantor gets in here, I'm going to tell everybody. I saw something. I don't think... Did Queen Taranika and or Leopold know about Pollux? Well, Leopold knew.
Leopold does. Queen Taranika does not.
Okay.
I think that was one of those things you guys were still trying to decide whether or not you wanted to have her as an ally or not. So,
yeah. Okay. I will definitely tell Cantor and Leopold what I saw and what Arthos heard, and promise Taranika that I will explain more thoroughly when we are safely in the palace in the evening.
Right.
I'm just going to look at you and I'm going to be facing you and say, as of right now, though, there is no direct threat. Well,
correct.
As in, like right now.
Yes.
Because we probably want to pass that on to the guard as well.
Oh,
what's
yes.
his name?
Theophilus
or whatever.
Yes. Captain Dion,
Yep. And we have also the one. I was going to say we also have the person from Mellitus, whoever I keep forgetting what her name is.
That is Parasophia.
Yeah.
You have so visiting from other posts. You currently have Parasophia from Mellitus and Enthusa, as well as Phaedra from Setessa. Both.
So we probably want to let them know what's going on here too.
What I would like to do is ask Taranika to call a council of the visiting dignitaries, captain of the guard, and us.
Okay.
And then explain what we saw and heard.
We will do it over lunch. I'm sure Fezzik is going to be hungry after his victory.
Oh, I'm certain. And the sooner the better.
Alright.
Out of curiosity, who did we have for satyrs that's already participated, and how did they rank?
Okay, so far, there has been a satyr in at least one event. So far.
And how did they rank? Did they rank anywhere?
So as far as,
I wasn't just like paying attention to the ranks.
yeah, so, from what I've got written down, the satyrs have all came in second place so far.
Yeah.
So far.
It might make it a little less, how would you put it? Noticeable, maybe? Where if we maybe invite the two satyrs that made second place and kind of have it be just kind of like, number one, number two, it's like, hey, yeah, nice little meal for them. And maybe we can kind of like fish for information from there, since it was another satyr that we just saw. Just a thought that you guys.
I see where you're going with that. And I am split. It might be wise, it might be foolish, I'm not sure.
I will let the rest of the council members kind of debate on that if you want to add it. It's just, we might be able to get perspective on what's actually happening here, since we know the satyrs are kind of mixed.
That is true. But if we say the wrong thing to the wrong person, or wrong satyr, we tip our hand and let them know that we know. That is my sole concern. Otherwise, it's a fantastic idea.
I'm thinking that's where we would also have our trusty friend, Arthos. Kind of just making sure. So if we do trigger something, he will know too. So,
True.
You know what I mean? If we do trigger them, we will know what side they're on. Sometimes the best way to avoid a trap is to spring it in safety.
There is wisdom in that. If as a group we decide that is best, that is what we shall do.
Yep, so I will leave it to everybody else.
Alright. As you all gather back up at the palace, you have you four, along with Queen Taranika, Diomocles, Leopold, as well as Enthusa and Phaedra from Cetessa, and Persophia from Meletis, currently sitting at this table. I'll bring us into the throne room for the time being, as that's probably like the best. Just imagine that where the red carpet is currently at. Just because there's a table that's been placed there.
Who's going to be sitting next to the queen and them?
I'm going to put Queen Taranika here. I'm going to put Phaedra's going to be I'm going to put Phaedra here. Council member this is going to be here. And Sophia, where are you at? You're going to sit here. Then the Diomocles. I never gave E1. So we're going to use one of my favorite ones. And we're just going to do, for the time being, I'm surprised I never made one for him. Wow. I found Pollux's freaking thing, finally. But it is just the generic Satyr token. But it's actually labeled with his name. Wow, I'm an idiot. I need to go through and organize this a little bit, but I haven't had a chance to do this. And Leopold will be... Leopold, where'd you go? Here you go, Leopold. You'll be right here.
You said this was Perficia right here?
Yeah, that is the one from Melitus. So you got...
Possible. I will probably sit somewhere next to her, if possible.
Yeah.
Maybe between her and... I guess it would be Leopold, but I was thinking Queen and her, but since Leopold's right there.
Oh, wait, this is a table now, so let's do it like this.
Oh, that's perfect, because I'm like on her right side, so I could be like her right-hand man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Then we'll say that...
I like it.
I want to stay close to Taranika if possible.
Yep, that's fine.
Now Thea is paranoid.
Yeah, she's gonna go ahead. You said you watched it. She's gone ahead and got a temporary chair over there. Yeah, Diana, please will stay right here. And I assume Fezzik, you're gonna be really right here. Okay.
I think we all need to be down one. Unless we're eating on Leopold's lap and them. You know what I mean?
You're not sitting. You're not sitting in his lap, I promise.
There we go.
More like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to move these three down.
Oh, those three down? Okay. Yeah, I'll probably do that.
If you could move them just down one seat, and then I'll sit. If that's okay. I mean, again, I don't want to offend. For if anybody, Perficia, as well as the Queen. So, if either one of them wants Perficia to be next to the Queen, I'll switch seats with her.
They don't see. They just want the council members kind of together, and that's all that really matters. That really matters.
Go.
All right, you're all together. Okay. Kind of, you see, she's already got this all kind of set up for you. All right, so this has been requested by Thea and her party that we get together after today's event. Some things need to be discussed. Thea, your group can go ahead and begin.
I would like to start, for the sake of time, saying that what happened with Pollux, what I saw, and I would turn it over to Arthos to explain what he heard in the crowd today. So everyone kind of has the background and how what we saw and heard is concerning.
You see, if there's looks over, you think he may have had something to do with the things in Melitus, with our council members.
I don't know if that's true, but he certainly was involved in the cult here in Akros.
He was possessed.
Yep. There's a potential connection. It's probably the best way we could put it.
Between him and the other council member.
And it kind of seems to be the modus operandi with everybody.
Alright, well, at least from my wisdom on this matter, let me investigate the statue. Make sure there's no wards, any spells that he may have put on there. If Arthos wants to assist with me on that.
I will gladly.
Just double check and make sure that there's nothing there. But I guess, definitely need to make sure that security is aware of this. Damocles kind of nods. Yes, I will, without divulging the story, make sure that my men are were expecting of this. We'll say that there's a potential crazy man on the loose. To keep it as quiet as possible.
I mean, we were only assuming that something could possibly happen. This is probably the closest to an actual threat.
True. Well, whether it's a trick, whether it's something serious, we need to be ready. We need this to be dealt with as quietly and as without too many people knowing.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that, but I'm kind of wondering what we can do to seek out further information or intel on potentially who is actually here, let's say from the court or any other nefarious. Do we have any other contacts in other guilds that might be of, let's say, the nefarious sense?
Technically have Nixus, the Nixborn?
Well, he's not here right now, is he?
Didn't he say he left?
Yeah, I thought he did.
Yes. But you guys could try to contact him.
Yeah. We do have a lot of uses of the message spell.
Yeah,
Or
sending.
spell. Yeah.
Very true.
Have we heard anything from our Alatin friends?
You have not heard from them.
Suppose that's someone else we could reach out to and see if there's any news.
Well, I was thinking maybe if anything we could send Boobo over there and back again. Because he can, like, fly over the course of the night. And...
That's a long way, though.
What's that?
I was saying, yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to sleep. And thankfully, where Olatin is now, currently, it is right outside of the Doctor Isles, which means nothing funky is going to happen to poor old Boo-Boo.
Well, the fleet was supposed to be parking outside of whatever that town is. I've already forgot the name of it.
O'Donnell's, they are about within about half a mile of O'Donnell's on sea. Is where they're at.
And I like to think that they probably have sent a couple spies in there just to kind of get an idea of what could be happening while they're sitting right there. That's where we can kind of follow up by sending somebody like Boobo out there.
Yeah. If that is something that you guys want to do.
What do you guys think about that? How long would it take probably Boobo to get there and back again? Could he do that, like, if he left, like, right now?
If he left right now...
Could he be back by morning?
Alright, so let's pull up the Theros world map and...
Yeah, I have it pulled up here on a second screen.
Okay, so, for the sake of ease, you guys are here in Akros. Olatin is currently resting
See, I thought Olatin was like... Okay, I was going to say, yeah, about somewhere right there. But the fleet is sitting right here, correct?
The fleet is about... right there.
Okay. 'Cause I'm looking at it's like Boobo has a speed of 10/60.
Picture they're a little closer, but I didn't want to mark out the name of the city.
Totally fine, totally fine.
That's basically how much distance they are from where Olatin is.
So if we're looking at that scale in the bottom right hand corner, that would be what, about approximately, what is that, 15 miles?
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, if he booked it,
He
like, you know,
might get there.
I mean, he does 50, or I'm sorry, he does 60 feet.
He does 60 feet?
60 feet. So what would that come out to be, approximately?
60 feet.
Let's see. So 60 times, let's say 10, right?
Uh-huh.
Because that would be a minute, right?
Yeah.
So that means he does 600 feet in a minute.
About 41 miles an hour.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, he should be able to easily get there, talk to them, and come back, hell, probably even tonight. As long as he's not
If not
interfered.
first thing in the morning.
Oh wait, my bad. It's actually more like 7 miles per hour. A lot less.
Oh. Well, still, let's say 7 miles an hour. Well, let's even say 5 miles an hour. That would mean it would take him 10 hours to get there, 10 hours to come back.
Yeah, he might, yeah. If he left right now, he would probably be back by the time you guys woke up.
Yeah, probably afterwards, probably in the middle of the games. That's
Yeah.
if he was going 5 miles an hour and he's flying as an eagle flies.
Yeah, I would say that's probably right. I would say
But
probably, yeah.
Probably a little bit quicker, because you said it was probably somewhere around 7 miles per hour or less.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll say probably like right before the games.
Like maybe like 18 hours,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of, turn my head to the rest of the table. I mean, I'm not really looking, but I'm looking at the rest of the table, and I'm going to say, it's like, with your permission, I'm going to send Bubo out to get an update from the Olatans that should be have their fleet parked outside of Odonis, and see if they happen to have possibly sent any spies in, or if they've noticed any disturbances over there.
Okay. You see
All right.
all the cast members look at each other. You see Phaedra and Enthusa talk to each other. We both agree this is a good idea. You see,
I'm just thinking, because
Enthusa
carry
nods.
an actual letter, and bring a letter back too. A little bit better than a whole messaging spell. So if there is actually like important info, he can bring it back to.
Yeah, because he does have
And
that
he can
little.
record my voice, if I'm correct, right? He can actually record.
Yeah,
If I remember,
Yeah.
I'm trying to look him up again.
yeah, he can literally record the entire message.
Okay, I'm going to open up a short message with myself, and then I will let I'll let the queen. So this is her city,
Yeah.
her show. I'll let her put her piece of message in there too, if she wants to give like thanks as well.
Yeah.
And if there's anything we want to send to them, if you guys want to send anything to them, Buo can carry it to an extent. It could slow them down a little bit if we do too much, but
I think probably, personally, I think just the message is fine, but that's up to you guys.
I just wanted to, but if anybody wanted to, like, I don't know, if you want to send them like a thank you gift for whatever whatever, right?
I think the message will suffice for the time being.
All right. Because I mentioned that also to, I kind of lean over and whisper that to, crap, what's her name again?
Enthusa?
Persia, yeah.
No, Persia.
I whispered
Okay.
Persia that, it could be politically wise to ensure that we have the Olatans 100% on our side. Just my 2 cents. It would be wise. Considering they, tried to destroy Meletis once before. Not the current regime, but there has been bad blood.
I get your point. It has come across my mind. I think we give Alatin some time to adjust to Theros. to the Theros that is here now, let them adjust to the world, then discuss opening our arms to them.
Okay. We can maybe send like a separate message later on, maybe like after the games,
Yes,
to have maybe
so.
like a meeting, not just nothing political, but just more of a
Get to know each other, yeah.
and like opening the doors. Yeah, opening the door and greeting leadership between both sides, which
Agreed.
probably hasn't happened for how many centuries?
It's been at least before my time, even before I was born. Nothing has been
Exactly.
has been lost
It could
at
be
sea
very,
for
it
many
could be very
years.
advantageous for us. Is where I'm going at. Having them probably an equal, and I'll even be bold to say, stronger naval force than Melitons.
I would not disagree with that.
So it could be very advantageous to have them on our side as very, very strong allies.
Agreed. Before we sit down, is there anything else you want to discuss with them?
Probably just that. Also, I want to make sure in my intro, I want to give them thanks. And, that I hope everything is still going well with them in the guard and the transition.
Okay.
Cool. Boobo fly! Fly, Boobo, fly!
Anything
like
for
the
anything for you three that you want to discuss with the council?
Above table, Cantor, were you still going to bring up that idea of having a dinner with the two satyrs?
Yes. Yes, we might want to have maybe we can have like a little banquet with, with some of the, besides Fezzik, but maybe it's the satyrs who have been like the runners up in the deal so far in the games, if I understand things correctly. I've been kind of sort of paying attention, but obviously doing my job first. But the stadium is loud. I kind of know who's winning and who's not.
At least from...
Because I kind of look down to where Fezzik's at and, kind of give him like a little nod. Like, good job, buddy. Good job.
It's something we'll keep in mind, for sure. But I think signaling out might draw some sort of suspicion as well. So, but it's something we need to keep in mind, though, just in case this is a pattern. Something we'll keep watch of.
And I also just thought of something else here in the past minute or two. I can understand you guys don't approve of such activity. I would understand that, but I'm assuming, special with the Iroan Games taking place, where would be, I guess, the gambling hall located?
You see, Queen Nika looks over to
and I bring this up.
I have a...
I'm assuming it's not really approved of in terms of gambling. It's not like really approved, but
with Nixus, we have an understanding with each other. What is it that you propose with him?
we have an understanding with each other. What is it that you propose with him? I was thinking maybe my other companion, as I kind of turn my head towards Arthos and say, maybe do just a little bit of digging and research. And to make his cover very well legitimate, maybe spot him a couple hundred coin to put some bets in. Just for the ruse. I mean, a potential of, let's say, 500, not 500 gold, like 50 gold or 100 gold to potentially get some very good real-time intel.
Make a
That could be a very fair
a
deal. Because what's 50
make a
or
persuasion
100
check.
gold to the general coffers?
Go ahead, make a
And I'm
persuasion
looking
check.
back over towards Arthur. I'm like, of course, if you're up for that type of a job tonight. Considering, it's like also they were like most of these type of gambling halls will have beer and alcohol going on, most likely.
Yeah.
A what?
Go ahead and make me a persuasion
Persuasion?
check. Are you going to hear me? Or is it laggy for...
I think there's a
said
significant
persuasion?
delay between you, Papa Freakin, and Cantor, because I can hear the echo of you, DM, on Cantor's mic,
Oh,
and it's significantly delayed.
like how much delayed?
Like 10 seconds or so. Is what it sounded like.
Wow. Okay, so...
At 20 plus 4.
Alright, so wow, because that's just a delay, but a natural 20, okay.
DM on Cantor's mic.
Oh, see, I just heard myself again.
That was me.
Yeah, that's... What are you using to... Okay. I'm so confused right now.
It was a total of 24.
Total 24, okay. Alright, so... I think, that is gonna work for them. They will, put in, 200 gold towards this endeavor. Yeah, I think there's a delay in what he hears from me.
I think that.
I'm not sure how to fix that. I wouldn't even begin to. So is that something that you guys are wanting to do? This evening?
That seems like something that could work.
Okay.
Yeah, because if people are making bets, if the games are just beginning, or if the real games are beginning, then people in the know might try to take advantage of that.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. Is there anything else you want to discuss with the council?
I think we're all set for now.
All right, beautiful. Give me a second here. I think that's a great place for us to take a 5-10 minute break. Go stretch our legs. I'll be back here in a little bit, and we'll get this second part started. A part of our day. So as part of so you guys have finished up your council meeting, with everyone. Is there any at this point where you guys go? What do you do? What are the next steps?
What time of day is it?
It is currently probably now noon. Noon or 1 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. If I recall correctly, Boris, the cleric at the Temple of Athreos, he's nocturnal, is he not?
He is nocturnal.
Okay. But Bones is not.
Bones is not, correct.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to Bones.
Okay.
And
Knock on the door of the temple, and you see Boris actually answers. Oh,
I wasn't expecting to find you awake.
We will, since I have now someone to watch the temple at night. Oh, I feel so much better about everything.
Oh, I'm glad that's working out.
Yes. Was there something that you needed?
Yes, I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you remember some time ago, I believe a deceased satyr was brought to you, formerly named Pollux?
Yes, your group brought him to me.
Yes.
Yes, you had me do speak with dead with him, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
you did. Well, was there anything strange that happened between the time we brought him in and you cast Speak with Dead on him and the time that he was actually sent to his final rest? I don't know if he was buried or burned on a pyre. I don't know what the tradition is. Me, the player.
Typically, I don't discuss the final rites with everyone.
Of course.
But in this occasion, I am going to break that promise. It wasn't... I probably should have said something at the beginning. When I was casting the spell, there was some resistance.
Resistance to the Speak with Dead spell?
Yes. Like something was trying to keep me from speaking with the young man. With enough guidance and such, I was able to push through. Let me just say, that was a little bit of an exhausting day, but it was completed. The body was buried.
Did you tell me where he was buried?
There is, behind the church, there is, a mausoleum. That is where, those that prefer that rite of final rest are kept. I've not been down that mausoleum, and it's actually been quite some time since anyone's wanted that particular last rite.
Clarification question. Is that connected to the Temple of Athreos, or is that a separate building that...
You take the back door of the church, it turns into like a fenced-in plot of land, and then there's a mausoleum behind it.
Could you show me exactly where Pollux was placed?
Yes, of course. I can definitely do that. And, you both step out into this open area, this fenced-in area. And as you approach this It's almost bigger than the Church of Theros is. Like, that's more of the prep and, you know, getting them to their place. This is their final home.
Yeah. Okay.
So you see he goes to open the door, and he kind of stops for a second. And you see on his left hand there's a little black ring just kind of like sitting there, and it begins to glow.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good.
What does that signify?
Undead.
Eyes of the grave.
There seems to be several sightings beyond the door. It's almost too many to count.
Okay, let's not open that door.
I will fortify it. Okay.
Yes. That's a problem.
Right. It's going to take some time. I'm going to need to prepare a forbidden spell. It's been a long time since I've used this spell, but I'm going to need some things from inside. I'm going to need, as I pull up the forbidden spell,
let's see. The question. The text of Eyes of the Grave doesn't specifically say that I kind of sense how strong they are. Is that something I could, like, insight or perception to add on to that?
I would say if you want to do an insight check, that's fine. It's going to be a difficult DC, mainly because you can't see them beyond the door.
Understood. I'd like to try to see if
sure.
To see if two clerics could take care of this, or if we need help.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a 12. I have no idea.
Yeah. It tells you, alright, I need, holy water, I need some lavender and wolfsbane, and there should be a ruby underneath my desk. We're gonna need to crush that.
Alright. I will help in any way I can, but I will ask, Boris, is this something do you think we'll need help with? Like extra help? Or do you think we can handle it?
We should be able to handle it. I will have to do this every day. At least until I figure out what happened and what's inside.
Oh dear. Well, I will certainly help as much as I can.
But at least it'll keep them inside. Alright?
Alright.
Alright. You see, as you go in and grab everything that is needed, you watch he goes ahead and takes the ruby, and he goes ahead and takes the wolfsbane, takes the lavender, begins to drip it across the ruby. He takes the holy water and sprinkles it across. In the name of the God of Passage, I forbid you to leave that crypt! And he's gonna toss that ruby right at the door, and you watch as it explodes across the door. As you watch as just a quick, almost shift of the red dust forms Athreos' visage for a moment, and just is placed on the door. Right. Okay.
Do I know what spell he cast?
He cast this a spell known as Forbiddance.
Okay.
He looks over to you. Oh, one day, that is something that you'll be able to do. It is known as the Forbidden Spell. Basically, it creates a ward of travel, protecting a space for at least a day. Creatures from that are created by the gate spell can't enter the area. They can't come from the astral plane, any of the other planes. So that door, it affects. Well, for the time being, I chose undead because that's what's inside.
That makes absolute sense. Is there anything we might be able to do longer term? You said you'd have to do that every day.
I will have to I'll have to prepare a hollow spell for that. Those materials I do not have. This is what I had on hand.
See. I think I have access to that.
It is. I have access to it. I just do not have that material.
Yep. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, it is a pricey spell.
Indeed. Do you know what might be causing that to happen?
Which is unknown. Like I said, unless I can get inside and investigate, but I will do what I can to investigate from this side, and I will let you know of any updates.
Yes, please. If you need to fight your way in to investigate, let me know. I'll certainly help.
You will be the first to know.
Thank you. I will check in when I can.
Yes, I will be here. He begins to look like he's setting up an office right in front of the door.
Don't blame him. Okay. That was unexpected. Well, the other thing I wanted to do was go to the arena. I think we had discussed checking the area where I saw Pollux and Arthos was hearing things.
Yeah, you guys are going to go check that one statue over by where you saw Pollux. It's going to be you, Anthusa, and Arthos, unless there's anybody else that wants to help with this.
I have detect magic, so I can cast that once we get there.
Alright.
Did you want me to come along too? Just, I don't know. I can't really do anything like that, but I can at least bless.
Yeah, if you want to come along, you can. If you wanted to start wandering and listening to other things, you can do that too.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to do much if this is magical. And even if it's religious, I don't really have religious type spells.
Yeah.
Alright.
So if it comes to a fight,
I'll probably just be doing my walking around town.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Alright, then we'll go ahead and do this real quick. Then we'll come to you and Fezzik after. Okay, so Anthusa is gonna go ahead and she's gonna pop detect magic as well as make a investigation check. What are you two doing?
Burn the spell slot.
Okay, for detect magic. Okay, go ahead and do that.
All right. So, can I make an investigation check with advantage, or just trying to figure out if there's anything weird going on with this statue?
This will, I'll say with detect magic, this will let you make that check. How's that sound?
That sounds perfect. I'll take that.
Yeah. What are you doing, Arthos?
I don't really have anything to detect or anything, but I guess I'll keep my. I guess I'll do a detect thoughts to see what I can hear.
Okay. What you get for your check, Thea?
8.
8. Okay.
Yep.
Let me grab and who's you get the advantage. That's better. She instantly doesn't take her long. She's already looking at the statue, kind of just checking out the architecture, how it looks, and you see she kind of grabs your sleeve, Thea, as you're kind of like looking underneath where he was sitting. Like, was he chewing gum, or was that here before there? And she kind of, Thea, look here. And as she points it up to you, you can now see. Look like there is some sort of like faint, just like after magic kind of dust.
Oh dear. Does it look anything like the dust that we encountered in, I do believe it was Melitus, after the trial, where the guy disappeared?
Where Alekios teleported the hell out of there?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's a problem. That's definitely a problem.
So Pollock is still alive somehow?
Oh, yes, Arthos, I didn't tell you about the rest of my afternoon. And I'll briefly convey the mausoleum behind the Temple of Athreos, where Pollux was interred, is full of undead. Fun fact.
No?
Yes, so I may have to pop away at some point and go fight a horde of undead creatures.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It should certainly be something. So that, combined with this, equals definitely not good.
Alright. Basically what she tells you, it pretty much is the same kind of like after effect, after like a conjuration spell to teleport, basically, is what it is.
Okay.
Just like that after, like, picture like the little after smoke that you would see like Nightcrawler have.
Yeah.
That's basically kind of what you see. Just like little specks of it kind of still float in the air. Okay,
Well, whenever I get back to the palace, I will share all of this with the rest of the group.
alright, Cantor, what are you doing?
Yes. I'm going to pretty much just like wander around town, and just pretty much do like hardcore perception checks.
Alright.
I'm gonna hit up like some of the more probably common places where there could be clandestine meetings. So if there's like a street with like coffee shops and like little bars or whatnot, you know what I'm talking about, like the little dinky places and stuff like that, where it's like public but yet you can kind of have some private conversation, parks and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm hitting up as much of the town and just kind of perception. Just perception.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check then.
26.
26? Okay. Very much people excited for the games. Nothing, at least, nothing dangerous. At least in the spot where you are currently hanging out and surveying.
Yeah, I'm looking at hitting up all the different kind of like sectors. Really kind of do a swath.
Yeah.
Throughout the city.
Yeah. You don't... Nothing seems to really really stick out. Nothing unusual. Nothing treacherous happening.
No funny smells.
No
weird...
funny smells of any kind.
General conversation is just about the games.
Just about the games. And those that are competing and how the games have been going so far. That's really all anyone cares about at the moment.
This is an interesting question.
Okay.
Is there like a lower part to the city, whether it's like catacombs or something like that of the sort, sewers?
That is something that you guys have not asked, so you don't know.
Well, would I have like smelt?
There's
like a sewer.
Honestly,
system?
I would say you probably would smell just the soil and dirt that's around.
Okay. Well,
I'm not sure how they do it, but they either must take care of it, or there's not a sewer system.
I'm going to, if there's still enough time, I want to go back to the castle and bring that up to what's his name, the guard.
Captain Diocles?
Yeah, Theopolis, yeah.
You're asking
I'm going to bring up a little point. I'm like,
the possible secret underground tunnels of any kind.
How secret is secret? I mean,
there are tunnels that I used to play in as a kid. Is that what you...
Oh, kind of. And I'm assuming you didn't play alone, right? So probably a lot of other kids.
No, of course. It is something that we do as kids. Sometimes we would go and, practice exploring. We would go and, climb rocks. This is where we would learn our first stages. And sometimes even some instructors may take kids that are two to practice fighting in a different environment.
So, are these tunnels well mapped out? Do we know where all of them are? All their access points?
No. We only know at least of the one path in that leads to a general open cavern area. That is where traditionally we all stick. There's good places to... there's almost this one nice little section of wall that is good for just climbing the rocks. Try to get to the top before your friend. It is a... but besides that, we've never really gone past that area. And even if we have...
Make sure, and this hasn't been concerning as a security threat, that, there are more tunnels than just this one, right?
As far as I know, yes. And it has been a concern. We just do not have, at least the current time, the manpower or the people to survey it and explore it correctly.
I think we should probably make a request. Maybe put it out in like a public bulletin board. Requesting, like a small party to go out and just map all the tunnels down there.
Alright,
the sense of us spending our own people, our limited number of guards, let's have the populace work with us. This is just as much their city too.
Alright, I will bring this up to Queen. And we
Thinking,
will,
if we offer like gold to whoever can go down there and like map it all out, I think that would be a very fair deal.
Alright.
It's like, we're a fairly wealthy kingdom in Polis. It's like, we should leverage some of that wealth and power to work smarter, not harder.
Are you calling me stupid?
No, not at all.
That's what it
not
sounds
at all.
like. doing. I'm just kidding. But no, I will. I will keep that in mind. It is something that is on the list of things to do.
I think it needs to be very prioritized. If we don't know every in and out and back corner of our own city, our enemies will.
I'll be honest with you. If anyone probably knew, it was probably King Anax. But of course,
that's the next one that left, right?
No, King Anax.
Asking out of character.
King Anax was the former king of Akros.
Oh. Yeah, we still need to find him. Would there be anything in any of the libraries or any of the royal...
Of what happened to him?
No, in terms of any other documents of the city itself.
Not that I'm aware of.
Are there any libraries? Or
I think you're on the wrong list, my friend.
I was hoping that at least something might have been written down somewhere.
I mean,
I know
you are more than welcome to check King Anax's study. He wrote, but no one else really. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm able to speak at all, to be honest. I'm kidding. Yes, you can check his study.
All right. I'm gonna bring that up to the rest of the party because obviously I can't read a book.
Yeah.
But
okay. Fezzik, is there anything that you are doing today?
Nothing really.
Okay.
Just
be around when I was
keeping an eye out.
What were you saying, Cantor?
Were you around, Fezzik, when I was talking back there at the castle?
Yeah, I'm staying at the castle, so.
I don't know if you were privy to that conversation, because if that's the case. It's like if you want to, it's like we can kind of go through some of the books in the library or whatever, or in the study. You can at least rattle off names, and I can, that sounds like it might be something to look into that, type of deal.
Sure.
We can maybe tag team on that or something. It's still light duty for you, so it should be not so bad.
Okay. So you two are going to go into King Anax's study and take a look around?
Yep, we're going to tear the place up. No, we're going to see what we can see in there. Yeah, if there's anything of importance.
For the most part, it is very basic desk and chair setup. It looks like it does kind of peer out over the city. At least from where his window and desk is kind of like placed. He does have like a shelf over to the right. There are a couple of like old scrolls and such, and there is of course a little stack of papers where underneath or on top of them you can see the seal and ink of where he used to stamp and approve his decrees.
I don't know if we want to kind of go and breeze over any of those.
You are all more than welcome to.
These were like his last orders and stuff you're saying? Before he disappeared?
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see if he had any orders before he disappeared that could maybe lead to why or where or how he disappeared.
Yeah,
But-
we'll look through 'em.
Obviously, I can't read, so you're going to have to do some of the legwork. I'm like, that sounds very interesting. We might want to investigate. But at the same time, we need to consider that could be sensitive information to the polis, and we might want to make sure we have at least the queen present.
So what's the decision here?
Just kind of my 2 cents. I mean, if I was queen and somebody was rummaging through my father's possessions and, let's say, cracked open and read personal documents, I might be a little upset.
Yes, we should definitely get her permission.
Yeah, and she might want to be present anyway. Especially if they were decrees that were never instituted. She might want to look over them and institute them.
Okay. So you guys are going to go to Queen Taranika?
I think that would be wise.
Okay. You go to Queen Taranika. Obviously, she's with
I could probably get
Leopold.
like a page to go out and grab her and bring her back.
Yeah.
Well,
No, she's there in the palace. Just kind of looks like she's relaxing for the time being, getting her mind off things. You go to her and let her know. She kind of looks at you. She kind of lets out a sigh. I'll be honest, I've not really been inside since I've been made queen. I've had my own office made. Yes, I think it would be beneficial if we go through my uncle's things. See if there is anything that we can find. So accompanied with the queen, you guys can now make a investigation or perception check, depending on what you guys want to do.
Can I do an investigation as well, or
Yeah, whatever your best skill is.
you said investigation or?
Perception.
Oh, I'm definitely doing perception.
Okay.
Oh, 28.
Oh,
28.
good thing you rolled well.
Yeah. Great that you rolled well. Goes through the sheets of paper. She kind of sits there, like, no, these look like these are old documents. These have already been instituted. There's nothing in final rights or anything. You're kind of just begin to feel yourself around, and you kind of grab on the desk, and there's almost seems to be kind of a loose board in the table.
Definitely want to check that out more.
Alright, you kind of reach in, you kind of move it, and
Yeah, I'm going to kind of bring up. I'm going to actually say it says like, oh, what is this? So everybody else in the room can kind of see what's going on.
Alright, both.
I don't want to appear like I'm purposely like, let's break this thing.
Yeah, let's break this table. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, because this isn't my. I mean, I'm being an advisor.
Yeah.
Not trying to be at the executing anything.
Okay.
I'm not there. I'm trying to play politics.
Beautiful.
Become a politician.
You find it looks like several sheets of parchment with words written on it.
Well, I can't see the words, I'm assuming.
No,
Unless
but
they're raised.
Fezzik and Queen Ternica can. She will read this out loud to you. To who it may concern. If you find this, I am gone from this world. I suspect my advisor has plans to finish me in some cowardly way. It is fine. As a warrior, I expected nothing less than to die at some point. But at least I know who my enemy is, so I can prepare. If anything should happen, let it be known that Taranika, my one and only niece, will take over as head of family. If anything should happen to my wife, the Queen. Diomocles, long captain and war hero of the Iroan army, will accept rank of general. May Iroas's shield protect us. May his spear keep us safe in these trying times. And it has the king's seal on it.
That's pretty much what we already have in place.
Except she is no longer Queen Regent.
She's actual queen.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
And Diomocles is technically still a captain. He's never been.
We get promoted.
Yep.
This is great for everybody.
Yeah. And it also shows that he knew that he was going to die.
Not knowing necessarily how or why, but he feels like he was going to die.
Yep.
Aren't there rumors that he's still alive?
You heard a rumor that someone swears they saw him in the Badlands with a group of Nyx-born satyrs, and he was riding a black horse that was on fire, and he was carrying an axe that was dripping lava. But the bartender told you that he was probably just a drunk. Don't listen to him. He's stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
There's also something about her mother as well, right?
As far as the Queen is concerned, Queen Siamede, as far as anyone knows, no one's, as far as you guys know, I think, you guys know that she went and was chosen by Keranos, the god of storms, as like his oracle, his personal oracle.
I remember they said that there was like a lightning strike on her room when she disappeared or something like that.
Yes.
So... hopefully she's okay. But checking out the Badlands is something we may want to do eventually.
At some point, yeah. Once we get some of these polises more stabilized. Was there anything else that we found in that little compartment besides?
Inside the compartment, you find, looks like just a little piece of very thin, like, it almost looks like a dagger, but it looks like it's a brace of some kind, and you kind of just look at it, for a minute, and you kind of feel around, and you click a little switch, and you watch as this thing begins to expand, and it's actually a shield.
Oh. Now, that is cool. Is there like any inscription or design or anything like that on the shield, or?
There is a maker's mark. It belongs to the Ram's Forge here in Akros. And it does read the title of the item. These are bracers of defense.
Oh, bracers. That's kind of cool. Of course, I can't per se just take them if they're given to me, but it's like I'd be like, my lady.
I mean,
these that
I have no use for them, so your party can do whatever you want with them.
That is, then I'm gonna look over at Fezzik and like, do you need them? Do you want them? We should probably talk to the rest of the party to see before anything is truly assumed.
What do they do exactly?
You two don't know.
But they're bracers, from what we can tell. Correct?
Yeah, they are bracers.
Okay. And they have the maker's mark from the forge that's in town here.
Yeah.
Well, we can always talk to the maker of these bracers. If anybody knows what they do, it should be him.
Maybe get a
Of course,
message of approval from the Queen, so he knows we didn't just steal
Oh,
them.
of course. Do with it as you will. It is yours. Do what you want.
Okay.
I
said we go checked out before we do too much more then.
I will go and speak with Damocles and give him some good news.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Kind of gives us another reason to have that banquet, Your Highness.
Agreed. It is definitely something that we need to think about.
And you might want to bring the rest of the council up to speed on that too, since you are now queen.
Right.
That kind of changes things.
It changes a lot of things. Alright. Well, perhaps at dinner we can have a conversation. Before the next day.
Yeah. Which also brings up, like, I'm going to have another topic probably with Thea when she's around.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where she went today. She kind of just ate, then left after everything. Anyway,
considering in light of the current situation, my queen, not to sound morbid, but you might want to have a plan for secession. Just in case. If you understand what I mean.
You
gotta think beyond just yourself,
yes.
But
after.
in the polis around as a whole.
That is already in place.
I want to make sure that you want to have that written down and essentially hidden. Who else is in the room besides?
Currently, it is you, the Queen, and Fezzik. Currently, at the moment, just you three.
I would even recommend, since nobody noticed it before, whatever you do, put it in here, because I kind of seal up the hidden compartment again.
Agreed. I will.
And probably
change. I will change the spot I had originally. This is probably better, and no one would think about it.
And probably I would say it's like probably the only other person besides us three would be, obviously, you're now appointed general, And if you care to, we can allow Thea and Arthos know about this as well.
Oh,
So
yes.
if in case anything happens, more than one person knows where to
Yes.
find the information for the net for whatever happens, right?
Agreed.
I don't like to sound morbid, but I'm thinking in terms of the long term.
No, I don't see an issue with this.
Yeah, I don't have anything else I need to really do, I guess.
Alright, Fezzik, anything for you?
Well, actually, can we go still to the forge?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
want to go to the forge, you can.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, run into that and before we have to come back.
yeah, sure. If you guys want to go to the forge before you call it a day, yeah, I'm fine with that.
And we can also then verify to see how things are going, right? If he needs any other reagents or anything.
I think maybe I would still need to stay with the Queen.
Oh, you want me to just go?
Unless you'd rather stay and have me go.
Well, you probably still need to get some rest. You had a busy day today.
Yeah.
So I'd say stay back, get your strength for tomorrow. I can run over there and keep you informed when I get back, okay? You'll be one of the first people I come back to.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll take the bracers, I'll wrap them up, try to find some nice, like some nice cloth or something like that, wrap them up, because I don't want anything like this to be just like floating around out there for everybody to see and gawk and whatnot, be a target, you know? I mean, already a blind guy walking down the street, I know I'm probably a target as is, but
Yeah.
I pity the poor fool. Let me try out my second attack. Please give me an excuse.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so you are headed to the Ram's Forge?
Yeah.
Okay. You go in. You see he is currently... Looks like he is taking... looks like one of those like 5-10 minute breaks. You see he's got... looks like a quick sandwich he made and some kind of drink. You could probably smell... it is some sort of like wine as he's like tossing it down and finishing it with the sandwich. Oh, you're back. Hi.
Don't need to intrude on your meal.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Do you need me to come back or?
No, I'm almost done. What do you need?
We came across something recently, and it appears that it has your mark on it, or at least your forge's mark.
All right.
And I kind of pull out the bracers and lay them down in front of me.
Yeah. I've made several of these before.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, it's
What
actually a
exactly?
pretty popular item.
What exactly are they?
These I call bracers of defense. Basically, for those such as yourself that don't have armor, this, well, gives you some.
Like how durable, strong, any other effects besides just protection?
Nope, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all they do.
Okay.
Basically, out of meta, it basically tells you that you get a +2 bonus to your AC.
Plus what? +2?
+2.
Wow.
It's basically like having a shield.
Yeah. Yeah, without having a shield.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also gonna touch base with him to see how things are going with the items we provided and if he needs anything more. We're not pushing to get it done yet. I mean, it's like we're gonna still be here for the next couple days with the rest of the games. But see how things are going. If you need any extra components, is there anything that you need that we can assist with?
At the current time, I think everything's going good. Should be done. Should be done by the time the games are done.
Sweet. Awesome. I'll let my big friend know as well, and hope that you get some time though. During the day to at least go and see the games. It's been quite exciting.
That's why I'm eating now, because I don't eat the shit they sell there.
I can understand that. Have you heard of anything else that might be going on with the games and stuff like that? Have you had too much? I was kind of curious. Do you get a lot of business from, like, let's say, like, people out of town coming?
This is. Some would say that this is my favorite holiday.
I can see that. I can only imagine.
Oh, I get custom orders from all over Theros. Especially
anything
Iroan Games.
Recently? Anything different, interesting, unique? Just out of curiosity. What's like the weirdest thing you've received or been requested to make recently?
Recently?
Yeah.
The stuff that you brought in?
Okay, besides ours.
Well, that's pretty much it, honestly. At least.
You haven't had any other weird requests recently for
anything? No, as far as forging goes, no.
In general?
In general? Now, what you and friend have been coming for a long time. I guess I should be a little more honest and upfront. They're downstairs. Sort of have we call it a fight club.
Fight club?
Uh-huh.
Is this like an approved type thing?
Well, that's the thing. Pretty exclusive. So we don't really talk about it.
No.
Why? I brought it because I see your hands. I see what you brought me to make for you.
Yeah.
I see your friend. So, just if you're ever looking to make a little extra coin, if you ever want to.
So there's like a lot of betting and stuff that goes on with this?
Yeah. Shit.
Do you guys do other betting down there in the club?
Oh.
I can understand if you can't tell me.
I let Nixus handle all the other shit. This is my thing. He can have his freaking little dice games and freaking shit. This is mine. This is mine. My territory.
Something completely separate and isolated from the rest.
Yes.
Do you get a lot of crossover, you think, with them, though? Or?
I mean, with that clientele, of course.
Interesting. What would it take to participate in one of these matches?
Your understanding that I'm not responsible for whatever happens to you, first off. Your understanding that, basically anything could probably happen. Less rights are nice. Just in case things go bad.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Is there like a cover fee for it?
As far as like an entry fee of any kind, I'm pulling up my exact notes on this. Where are you? Where is that book? It's a separate PDF that I have. Here it is. Let's see. We are in like that. Let's see. I need. It is in this chapter. Give me a second. Get you the right. Let's see. Where are you? Ram's Forge. Here we go. Basically, it happens most nights of the week, and there are other things that can happen if you decide you want to do those things. There are basically like the fisticuff fights. Then there's the deadlier fights.
With
For those that want to pay more money and make more money.
What makes them more dangerous? Is it with
weapons?
weapons?
I mean, you'd be surprised what I can get in. Let's see. Once we brought in a manticore. I had some fight 'em. Stuff like that.
Oh, more of like a gladiator type of a fight.
Yeah. Kind of just depends on what you're looking for. Usually I start the night off with fisticuffs. Then we do that deadly stuff, like right there, like in between.
I see. Well, I might be interested.
Right. Well,
but I would want to at least let my companions know that I will be out for a little bit. If you can understand what I mean there.
Right. Understood.
Kind of goes with like that whole last rites that you were talking about.
That's only if you want to do the deadly stuff.
Well, depending. Anything can happen, you were saying.
Oh, well, yeah. And that one, the Manticore won.
Well, Manticore's nothing to shake a stick at.
No, that's exactly what happened. And they died.
They shook a stick at it? Oh,
yep.
That's just stupid.
That's what I thought. I think personally the guy deserved it, but anyway, yeah. Just let me know what you think. Said.
Just
even if you don't want to compete, you're more than welcome to come down and watch it if you want to.
I just come down. Don't need any special invite or anything. Just come back here to the forge.
Yeah, just tell him that Taranak said it's all good.
Okay. I'll thank him. And
I'll let him know that a blind guy and a tiny giant's going to be probably coming in.
Sounds good. Well, I'm not sure how much Fezzik's going to do it since he's been pretty preoccupied with the game.
Right. Well, I mean, there's always after.
Exactly. There's always after the games.
Yes, exactly.
We want to make sure the guy is 100%. You know he's so far winning.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I've been there. I'm just not going to eat the stuff they sell there. Like,
so,
some of this
I'm going to
so
go back.
Fattening. Like, why would you sell a bunch of like sugary stuff at an athletics event? Just whatever. They're not part of the planet community, so it's not my business. Anyway,
and I'm going to go back then to the castle, let Fezzik know the update on our weapons. I'll tell him also about the bracers, that they're basically just regular bracers of defense. They work like a shield. You can block and parry and stuff with them. And I'm going to bring up the Fight Club to him. kind of going in line with what we're doing with Arthos to kind of, dig into the underbelly. I was maybe thinking about going in there myself. If that's okay with you, Fezzik. And I might want to try out these bracers in the process.
If you're wanting to.
I figure it could be a good test, see how well they work.
If they're allowed.
Well, my understanding, you can either do like a fisticuff, or you can go into, as he calls, a more dangerous mode of fighting, which I don't think I'm going to do, but... Because you know me, I'm not so much about all that fancy, glamorous swords and stuff like that, that you and Arthos use. I tend to be a little bit more finesse.
Alright.
So I might actually plan on doing that after I talk to the rest of the party. Bringing it up to them.
Alright. Fezzik. Is there anything else that you're doing for the day?
Nope.
Okay. Arthos, anything that you are doing for the day? Arthos, are you still with us? You might be on mute. I will take that as a no for the time being. I'll say though that you guys do all get back together. Finally, after wrapping up your day, it is everyone's there at the table with the council.
Well, I'll share the news about the undead in the mausoleum behind the Temple of Athreos and the disturbing dust at the arena. I don't know if they're necessarily connected to each other, but it's disturbing either way.
I was going to say, does that mean it is true that we need to be concerned of this threat?
I think it is a distinct possibility that we should be concerned.
Well, the undead are sealed away for now, right?
For now, it's a spell that Boris has to cast every day, but he has the ability to do so. Now, whether that's going to stop anyone teleporting from the mausoleum to there, because presumably if Pollux was in the mausoleum and I saw him at the Colosseum, and there's teleportation powder there, or whatever that magic is, he possibly went directly between the two, but it's not necessarily true. If that made any sense.
Well, what I'm thinking is, if those undead are part of any plans against us, it'd be harder to get them out now.
Yes, that is true. Any undead that is still in there, I don't believe can get out of there.
That's good, at least. Of course.
Yes.
Now, it would probably be a good idea to have someone double check on that every day, because the spell has to be recast every day.
Yes, definitely. I don't have the ability to cast it, but I can at least check on Boris and make sure he's alright, and can do so. And I did offer to help exterminate them if that's needed.
Yeah, I think I would also volunteer for that too. You wouldn't be alone.
So perhaps tomorrow, before the games actually start, I'll make my way down there and check on good old Boris and Bones and make sure they're hunky-dory.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to go in there, though, until we can ensure we can get a group. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Don't
If
go in
worst
being a
comes to
hero.
worst... No. Worst case scenario, if he's... Gods forbid, dead, then my intention is to come straight back and warn all of you.
Okay. Just making sure. As I have my ulterior motives behind that.
Interesting.
And now, I'm going to bring up, talking about the bracers. But I'm not going to be bringing up the Fight Club in front of the Queen and the Captain. Or
And of course the
General.
council members.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to keep that private.
Okay. Follow me.
That's fine. It's kind of sort of like a no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly.
If I die, that's a whole different story. I mean, people will probably be like, what the hell? But
Anything else to discuss with the council members?
I'm assuming everybody knows about the official proclamation of her being queen, right?
Yes, you see the council members kind of both kind of say their congratulations, and you see Damocles is sitting there with a different with an extra medal on his cape. They've changed out the little piece that connects the two cloths. It's a different style, signaling his rank.
That sounds good on you. But
I did not think King Anax thought so highly of me, but it looks like he did. I will serve it to the best of my ability. You see, Queen Taranika, officially, well, from this point on, things are changing. I appreciate not only our friends from the other policies, but as well as our friends. And she looks over to E4. Thank you for all the hard work that you have all put through thus far, and that you continue to put on to protect Akros. You do not have to do this, but the fact that you are willing to do so it means a lot to me.
Your belief in us and our abilities means a lot also. You have our thanks.
Anything else here?
Assuming there's going to be a ceremony for the queen eventually.
So that would be probably done day of the handing out of awards. It'll be the day after the capture of the flag event. I always have to get my days straight. The capture of the flag event is the biggest event, and it probably takes most of the day, depending on how many teams there are and everything like that. But with it being 2 teams, it would probably just take half the day at most. But that is definitely something that will be done. That needs to be made aware of. If nothing else, for anyone, I think that is a perfect place for us to stop off for the evening. Goodbye, my friends. We hope you enjoyed the show. I wish we could continue, but it's time for us to go. Next time, at the Bardic Cauldron.